A senior Nigerian senator, his wife, a doctor, all three found guilty of an organ harvesting plot in London. They're facing the maximum life sentence. We'll be talking about it right now. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ngozi. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. Click on that little notification bell so you never miss an upload. On this channel, we talk about love, marriage, dating, friendship, sisterhood, brotherhood, families, children, parenting, you name it. We'll talk about it. Any issue affecting our community, we talk about it. One issue we are speaking on today is that of trafficking, and in this case, for the purpose of organ donation. This issue we're discussing today has been going on for about 8 months. You might not be aware of it. However, it was just 3 days ago that the UK courts found this senator, his wife, and this doctor guilty of an organ harvesting plot in the UK. I'm going to let you watch the clip and then we'll talk about it.
Nigerian politician, his wife, and a corrupt doctor are behind bars tonight after being found guilty of a shocking and elaborate organ harvesting plot. Ike Ekweremadu and his wife Beatrice trafficked a vulnerable street trader from Lagos to London with the promise of money. They wanted to take one of his kidneys to transplant into their sick daughter. When medics at London's Royal Free Hospital rejected him, the plot began to unravel. Police praised the victim's bravery today in coming forward to help secure the convictions. All three defendants are facing a maximum life sentence under modern slavery laws. Elliot Pitt has more.
When this 21-year-old man walked into a Surrey police station last year, crying and in distress, it was the start of an investigation into an alleged plot to harvest his organ. A powerful and wealthy politician in Nigeria has been convicted of conspiring to arrange the travel of a young man with a view to exploiting him for his body part. Found guilty of the same charge this morning was the senator's wife, Beatrice, and a medical middleman they used, Dr. Abina Abeta.
I'm going to give you a little bit of background as to what the two schools of thoughts were regarding this case when it first broke. Individuals were saying that this young man had turned on the senator and, basically was the one who scammed this Nigerian politician and, turned on them. And the other school of thought maintains that the senator took advantage of this young boy. This is a street hawker. This is allegedly, but it is known that he was a street hawker. Now, a street hawker doesn't have any documents, probably doesn't even have a birth certificate. He is basically living below the poverty line. You have to ask yourself, what has a senator, a senior, powerful Nigerian senator, got to do with a hawker in the streets of Lagos? The senator who has gone ahead allegedly and got this young man, got him documents, offered him, I think £7,000 it was, bringing him to the UK, promise of a better life, and then he gets here and realizes along the line that they want his kidney for their daughter, who is, having a chronic health situation with her own kidneys, it turns out that he goes to the hospital, and when he gets there, there is an interview that's supposed to take place to, certify that the patient is, all there and clear on what's about to happen. That interview failed, and they, I think in a previous report, allegedly realized he wasn't actually 21, he was about 15 or something of the sort. There was just a lot of drips and drabs of stories here and there as to what the problem was. The most important thing is the hospital declined him as a suitable candidate to have his kidney removed. And another thing that was cited by that hospital was that he also didn't even know where his funding for aftercare, having had an organ removed, he didn't have an idea where his aftercare funding would come from. So altogether, they just realized he was not the right candidate for this procedure. So now this young man goes back to the house, right, with this senator. I'm not there, you're not there, but think about it. They brought him out. They have a sick child. We already know that the senator had every intention of wanting a kidney for his daughter. We know that as a matter of fact. Yes? Now you've got this boy all the way from Nigeria, and somewhere in the middle there's a conversation about you, the boy, given the daughter a kidney. And you know, it's all gone ahead to the point where he's attended the appointment and the appointment has failed. The suitability interview has failed. Now, think about it. He goes back to the house. You are no use anymore. Yes, you are no use because we can't get your kidney. They won't accept you. Now this deal has failed. When the interview failed, this is where everything went left. I can see how this senator now has no need for you. And is he going to go ahead and give you the £7,000? I don't know. And it's suggested that this young man clearly didn't want to go back to Nigeria and hawk again. He's been here. He's seen the streets of London, the flashing lights, the nightlife. He's, you know, wearing Adidas now, or allegedly, okay? He's beginning to live a nice life from hawking, for goodness sake. So it is said that the argument is that he wouldn't want to go back to Nigeria. So whatever the case, they're saying that he was being abused in the house. They started to treat him poorly, allegedly. And the most important thing is, we hear that he ended up on the streets for 2 days, I think it was, before he wanders off into the police station and tells them everything that is happening. And here we are today. So have a look at this.
This is the first conviction of its kind in the UK. We could not have achieved this without the courage of one person, our victim survivor. I want to commend him for his bravery in speaking out.
The Old Bailey heard how the victim, a street trader from Lagos, was offered £7,000 to come to the UK and promised a new life here. But the real plan, the jury was told, was that he would donate his kidney to the Ekweremadu's daughter Sonia, seen here at the front, who has a serious kidney condition. It's not illegal to donate a kidney, but it becomes criminal if there is a reward of money. They were pictured together before the proposed operation. He can't be identified for legal reasons. Today, Sonia Ekweremadu cried in court as she was cleared by the jury. The alleged plan hit problems when the Ekweremadus took the 21-year-old to start the transplant process.
The court heard how the victim came to this London hospital and that he didn't understand why he'd been brought to the UK until he met a doctor here. That doctor said the young man was not an appropriate donor because he hadn't had any advice about the risks of surgery and didn't have the funds he'd need for lifelong care. So the operation was refused.
The jury was told the Ekweremadus then continued the search for a donor, and this was when the victim was able to escape. Today, his lawyer in Nigeria explained how his client's life has been changed forever.
Certainly, with these things, he can't go back to who he used to be. He can't come to Nigeria freely, obviously. He cannot walk the streets of Nigeria. The cheerful part of it is that he's excited that he was able to stand up for himself.
And this decision to do that and seek help from the police has now created a historic legal precedent.
So there it is. This is how he wanders off into the police station and the case is then heard. And this was 8 months ago. Social media went crazy. They suggested that this young man came here, didn't want to give his kidney. The deal went left. And now he sort of turned on this senator. The entire family has been destroyed. They've got a life sentence that they're facing. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen on May the 5th when they are sentenced. I think it's May the 5th, May the 6th. But people are saying that, you know, he turned on them. Someone giving you an organ is not a crime. But where money is involved, that's where it is a crime. It's supposed to be free. Okay? Now, did this young man know that he was coming here to give away his organ for free? I doubt that. Was he told he'll get £7,000 to just come out here and have a nice life, and there was no conversation about why this senator and his family would do this for him? I find that really hard to believe. That's a Santa Claus effect right there, just free. Just saw you in the streets and said, you know, I don't know, we like you and we think you've got great potential, and you know, we would give you £7,000, you know, this specific number, and just come out and live in the United Kingdom, and you know, we just like you. But you have a daughter who needs a kidney. I don't know how that story works out, whether the boy was being honest about that aspect. I'm not sure. You know, it's interesting. How did they know if this young man was a match? Had they had some kind of relationship already going, grooming in Nigeria, allegedly? Because you can't go through the entire process of getting this young man all the way out here, going through the trouble, creating documentation for him, bringing him out here, and he isn't a perfect match. See, that's a point. That's another point. So the idea that he had no idea is also questionable to me. Courts have decided, but think about these points, right? You see where I'm coming from? You've got to give your blood. You've got to be tested to see if you're a match for this girl. So you see, the more I think about it, a lot of things come to mind. But anyway, you have to be a match. And we understand he'd gone all the way up to the end. And it turned out that, the interview was a bit wonky and he didn't understand what was going on, and that's how that came to an end, and it just went up in arms. So anyway, it's all done. I can see how he wouldn't want to go back to Nigeria. You heard what his lawyer said. Going back to Nigeria would be very tricky. I don't think he would be able to walk the streets. And also previously there were arguments as to whether the case should be heard in the UK or heard in Nigeria. And I am thankful that it was heard in the UK, because think about it, a hawker versus a senior Nigerian politician in a court of law in Nigeria. No, I don't think he's going to I don't even think he'll make it to the hearing. I think he'll disappear. He'd go missing. Okay, so this is what's happened, and he is not named to keep him safe, but they happen to name the daughter of the senator. They called her Sonia. I didn't name her. They named her Sonia, and she was crying, and she was cleared completely from all charges whatsoever. Now, if this couple is looking at a lifelong sentence, what happens to their daughter? It's really sad. I honestly hope that Sonia finds a donor sooner rather than later, because the mere fact that she is requiring a kidney suggests that she is in, some sort of critical state. Now, this young man is unlikely to return to Nigeria, so indeed he has found a way into this country and will live and will thrive, and the system will definitely set him up. There is a heavy organ black market presence in the United Kingdom, in Colombia, in many parts of the world, in Nigeria. It's a heavy presence where people are trying to jump the queues and trying to get these organs to, save their lives. It's gained speed and thrives off the back of individuals who are desperate to save their lives and want an organ, to stay healthy. It's a difficult one to navigate, and it is my prayer that whoever needs a kidney doesn't have to find themselves in a situation like this where your whole family has just fallen apart. Again, as I say, I can't begin to imagine what Sonia must be going through. She's already poorly as it is, and her parents are now facing a life sentence. And again, I do not know what the truth is. You've got the boy side, you've got the parent side, and then you have the truth. They alone know what has gone down. The young man now, I would assume, is going to be set up and secure in this country for the rest of his life. This is what is happening to a lot of individuals who are living below the poverty line in third world countries. They're getting trafficked. They're getting promised very little sums of money, which is very much what exploitation is. And they come out here and suddenly things could go left. Again, I don't know what the truth is, but we know what the facts are. The courts have based their judgment on those facts, and a guilty verdict has been given. Again, wishing her all the best in her health situation and the need to get a donor sooner rather than later. Thank you so very much for watching, and I will see you again soon in the next video. Until then, have a good morning, a good afternoon, a good night, wherever you are in the world. Take care. Bye.